Mensaka oye Abigail Ajubi Kwachi, okay. Abigail Ajubi Kwachi Abankwa. Damaso and Obono a chrono, yeah, no, I'm going to move. Damaso a gift coffee, on show or her, free, yeah, comfort. You're busy in common. Now, yaka comfort do crampona why eben iku. Now, what eben has it in a way? Orinti e busy in common ewa. Ma o messages in number 0244 0244 As then being comma me production team headed by Mr. Bernard Ogo, FKK Damaso and Osman Blackus Etrena Tum Facebook and YouTube and all the various social media handles no oyaza yechugu elho enti ebotum na adwanian elho Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, TikTok and nkaya akenya na adwanian elho Kastle 90.3 FM. Mama Abigail Ajubi Kwachi Abankwa. Mama akwaba.
Yeah, eja.
Ma bodi ne twase wa. Beji de bibia boko.
Mpacho nyame na adum.
Ya de me ase. Mama obo.
Kastle FM 90.3.
Ekro no ya be the first one.
Mpacho ye get through.
Hey, I bring to all kind of kitchen or can wa mama doctors want the prescription. Oh, okay, Gertrude. All right. And gift coffee. Mami, also a poor me.
Yeah, me adum also.
Yeah, then me assume who you pa me producer term HD. Na chebibia koyi. But Mami Abigail, yaka comfort wa hona. Who are you?
Okay. The question is Mama Gifty ones because they partner with Shraj. I'm from Shraj.
Okay.
So they partner with us and honor in details the major my Gifty now. We'll elaborate on it.
Okay. Gifty. So comfort why Eben Eku Eben as in a way.
Okay, to say for comfort Anka yebechemu first no as campaign for female education. Yakada campaign for female education na comfort ye ejumakuwa waka won ho abom de obobo mbesiamba wo new school mu na oye yimpa wa friend no Ancotten na ozi dama ku ibobo aze na ikunu bobo aze 1993 was Zimbabwe. Wabra Ancotten ninjuma mu no okopwe was Zimbabwe no hu de mbesiamba bebre no won ko school until started the area pastries ya kan ya ni meat pie ni ya ni zam na ozabwa mbesiamba ni wo school enti ikunu kodu was Zimbabwe the marna odipopu esu wa Ghana se ende kada shisha kamfeda ebohu on wo Ghana Zimbabwe Tanzania Zambia besen kwai hu bi wo Kenya and Malawi and yaba Ghana no in 1998 and I started the year operations for Ghana. Na ya ejuma wa Ghana from that time to and na comfort need to try there obafa besiaba sebe nifie ebi nshadani ho na wa bono na watete no odi na akọ school na wa hye ne nkran inye school nkotimba obehye nkran there ohia na wo yi ofimu no ebotu ma aba abontina aba beye bibi abo ho na abo webusia na ohia na ohonen etumizi bibi papa bi abafie it comfort in more oyen.
Okay, inti one main focus is to empower women or young girls.
Sure. So yaka bibi there our vision or our goal is to educate and empower the young girl to break the ties of poverty. Inti we are educating the person, but the empowerment part is taking care of. They be there yazuko school keke, but we empower you to become a better person.
So on your in formal education in Kuti, but all aspects of life are open to my empower so.
Sure.
Oh, okay. Okay. So what are some of the programs comfort warrior?
Okay, nti mesana da wase. Nti yakasa for the programs comfort warrior. My sister Gift is kind about the education aspect. Nti will be often bursary selection and distribution. Nti eko in senior high schools comfort or partner schools be. Nti eba Cape Coast Yerika say ya was school be today university practice senior high school. Ya wo Edinaman senior high school. Ya wo Agri and Ghana National. Nti eba ndama was select girls na Gift is kanaka one no. Now was support on who there because of financial issues in some people drop out from school and they help these girls in school and whether giving them some provisions to stay in school, giving them mentorship to stay in school, giving them psychological help when needed. And to wire the mazano. And currently we run a guide program. Bibi will have a guide program. And you will learn a guide, you will a Greek guide, you will business guide, you will transition guide. And you kada yerka, ni na will be a offer. And you find that you can learn a guide as some learn a guide and you want a comfort for wash or one you know. In a way, we will use one to give back to the community. And we'll back to senior high schools, junior high schools. Now I could give back as in wakoche bibia on your math, science, or on the school either bibia a curriculum straight into math, English. But there are certain things that Abufaba Balaka Obama on to perform well in school. Ebia if ye BB situation binti, and ye will be a friend my my better world. Anti learner guide program no my better world program how a student in school can make him or her life better. Anti only about learner guide program. No business guide them is in it no. Ye nimbesia for now one businesses. Now you be with there obi wo any business ejuma na acha. And so on when your skills be brea obi afi no ba any business as inyi. Nti obi damano obe train obi afi na washa asa na ado pedo ko business mu. And I your transition guide. Yani girls no ye shown was senior high school ayenja wandamara. And you make sure there at least or better any school down now then narankasa be start any business. Another begin employment. And see them transition guide to funnel. One of ones who was them with Juma out to them. And I want a Greek guide. And see them benefit is in it. Anything I Greek, they do it.
Okay. And I pay many information about I was going through your website and American baby and one of the your baby Tuga was about UNICEF. One statistics be before Obedru 18 no. I mean per statistics ne ibinum wa before 18 into Wodru 18 na not that one wa that one new dreams BBA has been shouted. I mean comfort coming on board. Why only Mbesiafo? Because in there Mbesiafo also is so vulnerable. Why Mbesiafo nkwete?
Okay, and Mama kinda he Miss Amazing can say a comfort or a campaign for female education.
Okay.
And Nimpano starting nani focus Mbesiafo. And no problem no or identifying who them Mbesiafo na or affect one pa. And session one in Jumana was na Mbesiafo and our way one focus. Seba comfort that what's the lady is the center of everything that they do. And they biara no mbwano akoye Mbesiafo because even a great saying says that if you educate a woman, you educate a woman. But ni nature numpono enye Mbesiafo no nkote na programs and benefits. Mesa my sister ka de ye learner guide program. Learner guide program ye ran wo senior high school and junior high schools ni mu. And ye fan the school bit there abum MA and Zion ye learner guide ni bi wo ho. Abum enyem besiafo nkotin won new school. Abum eyem besiafo na mbenyinfo school. Ye ko de ye program no so a ye nyim benyinfo no ensinchan na yenka de kanfa de mbesiafo nkotin ti yerba na ya betre mbesiafo no nkotin. Although program ni focus mbesiafo nkotin no mbenyinfo no programs ni ayeye nen ebi wo ho opon. Minyim senior high school bia where one bedroom selection na mesiamba na wa abon one ebi mutum hu de mbeyimba bi wo school no mu awon ho chirewan nti zama na wazam wonder was born no mesiamba na potum jiji kakra boano zema da ma mbeyimba no azakwen de yehu de se ebo abesia kra mbo no nkwana nkote ho okona ebusia ho odo mbo na ye besia na mbo but se wo ba na wo hwe na aboa wo papa no aboa wo maame no nti onye mbesiafo no asin mbo ye hwe mbo no asin nyimpa no nkotin ye hwe mbo no ko ikro anade baby anyimpa no so
okay my mentioning this way for this number of years over 1998 over Ghana, what has been the impact?
Okay, so for the impact, there are lots odos ayentumu enshada enka from comfort operation itself eba kama members say kama members are comfort association members. These are alumni and ambasamba wa born efi different programs na comfort around from tertiary by senior high school ko entrepreneur eko agric side ni na yereka impactor monfa mankasa mumpo enye as impact because
living legend
because mara so wo bom
wow
inti se ehu mara mpa or impact or conclusion of the impact ye wo ye nimbesi amane bebre na afi biara ye wo bi mo obaka ho ye hu ye mbesi amano in different sectors of work se ekoye northern region pa ye wo mbesi ambano some of the communities they are assembly women. So
through this program,
yes, they have empowered them to take community positions. So we can see yen besiambanu will baby either on the country leadership, the community leadership, and even some are doing international. So impact is also because even the tertiary program that they run has helped a lot of people to finish school. Ebe mo bia ko tertiary area nkotin po ye different thing. And there are mentorship opportunity for you how to navigate the world. So for the impact, if we talk about numbers, we may underestimate the numbers. But there are a lot of impacts around.
All right. But I'm call Madam Srajo. I mean, you there, or your NGO and NGO like Comfort and then Strides. What is the role that you are playing?
Okay, I the mother was a pa, but more to can Mamma French Yakakra and call my regional director or Mr. Musa. The Medana Sede wa Mayenya, the Malquin so. Na Sir Missy Wo. Question that kind be my I'm a fan to when you with the mamma catchy. It is a mechanic, you may call by no. Their main focus is girl child education and women empowerment. In Toban, them no question cry beside the abiding to know you miss our phone cutting. And I do cry you when they are vulnerable. Miss our for your vulnerable. What in Yama be bring into Oban them no. You may corner share there, okay. See a pede champion them me, ye empower women. And I said Nancy and ye Women's Day. Nini na is to bridge the gap nneɛma bɛn ne yɛbɛyɛ eliminate nneɛma ɛma wɔgyina bia ɛnyɛ favorable ɛma wɔn as compared to mmarima nti sɛ dɛm dwumakuo yi de wɔn nhyehyɛ reba okay sɛ yɛpɛ sɛ yɛmpower mmaa a yɛpɛ sɛ yɛhwɛ wɔn na yɛma wɔn bɛyɛ nipa titiriw a sɛ wɔkɔ ɔhaw bi mu atete bi mu sexual harassment bi mu aha ne nzɛmanzɛma a ɔkutia mmaa aba nnwumakuo ɛna wɔbɛtum aba mu na wɔagyina na wɔaboa mmesiafo yi so if they have to collaborate with other constitutional bodies to the shraj na kyerɛ dɛ yɛn dwuma a yɛyɛ boa wɔn dɛ sɛ mmaa bi fa atete mu because shraj is a human rights institution nti bibi a otietia ɔbaa ne fa ahodzi biara do biara no wɔba yɛ na asrɛ do nti sɛ ɛba ne dɛ ebisa dɛ o abaade nti ɛna shraj yɛ ne wɔn yɛ adwuma na yɛfa pɛm ne dɛ wɔate kuo bi wɔte CPRT Child Protection Response Team nti ayɛ dɛ abɔfra biara kɔ ahonyehia mu a na wɔhwɛ na ade no tietia ne fa ahodzi do pɛ na wɔaba shraj hɔ na wɔabɛka asɛm no yɛhwɛ ayɛ dɛ menyim dɛ mmerɛnti a but shraj yɛwɔ mandate baasa yɛwɔ human rights yɛwɔ administrative justice and anti-corruption nti sɛ asɛm ne ba na ɔyɛ human rights issue because fighting for girl child education and girl child empowerment is a human rights issue just like fighting for women rights is a human rights issue nti ɔba ne yɛahwɛ mmara na akwanya bi ɔwɔ a ɛwɔ dɛ yɛde boa dɛm besia no na ofi ahohiahia a wakɔ nti ɔno na kwan a ahodo a yɛde boa ɛde ne dwumakuo yɛde edi nkita ho
so partnering with the organization we follow up cases bi abo n'anim a I mean
not bebree sir
okay
because one thing about Kamfe and they were proactive so one thing they do and it's also in our mandate we call your mandate article 218 that is F. We do a lot of public education and Kamfe is also into it and then suka one public education and it's also a mandate ye kaya mandate say emrama yitumi de into ade kura oyene dem through the Alena Guide program any meetings ayeko ye kanzema bebro besi akwan ama oba no ana besi aba no amfa no ho anko hye bibia obetete no mu inti case kiti da wa ba ma ne ho asem akoye yentum nka na sese ni di this time around yen shede nye bi bebre because most of the time we are proactive we go to them and tell them but the other thing we saw on the ground say some has suffered it previously today be a sexual harassment yes. But how obeko by it Inti, based on our education, they realize, okay, so Shraj is there to take care of this kind of issue. Inti, I know okay, so they have the institutions or what to me take up this. Inti, for now, they are partner with them there. It be a case is kitty the day needy. On my inti one transition programs not today business. I think business guide because they were proactive again they organized a training with almost stakeholders in order to be trained to come and train them on other things not to endanger their lives in such things inti one medina they are always proactive then ye be abwa ye mamba no ho bai then ye betumi aye e de ahye omu Kenya and say be in the form of say who say you discriminate ama that empowerment ni as girl child empowerment and I say you betumi ahye mu Kenya de abom so they do all these things inside the ye day no you under business na say no you call under almost part of their program one hour you one hour ejuma ebi aye ejuma time upon or you late nzema ben na betumi da aboa ho because we ejuma in time pon tem I be a obi ntumi nto mo na bi ana say sebe eno kra bampa institutions ben na wo ho ebetumi aboa until we do all these things to say make a question no do dia ni prempren de yenya case bia oye hu bia de where obi aye de obi aye because of the proactive steps we are taking.
My member Mami Gertrude do them me call oil strategy way. I mean, through your programs, what are some of the challenges the organization will face with regards to rolling out these programs and then issues coming up?
Okay, so your challenges are you need your manka. You better me extend and help to every girl. But obviously, financial constraints wouldn't allow us. And see, sometimes there. So what what we do is number of girls or number of people we want to support at a particular point. And see, what do my band there? You support 100 people, but 101st person is here, but we are tied. So scaling up the program is one of the challenges that we've been facing.
What criteria? What do you choose? I mean, who to help, Anna?
So criteria, Mrs. Sister give to Ken. So needy. And tell the needy no. Needy no your woman you.
Because I will be born on you as you feel what. Obviously do a waiting.
And needy ni yeshishe.
Okay.
Needy pa number 1, needy auto do 2, needy 3. I had the mobile because you need you Ghana hade. And yeshisha na yafa ebia 100 people na per day for first 100 and na yafa. And see, so far one of our biggest challenge has been scaling up the program. So sorry.
Oh, don't worry.
With the grocery Mecca the some girls are still not in school, regardless of education and my and na you good but as was if you be a mensa
when why still one effort in they are still not in school.
Kind ebi wo hwa o efie dama misconception na all the dada there besi odo na kitchen beyin odo kofie yen tan but ogudu wo ho your cases besi amba no ebi wo hwa sebe ne maami ni ho ne papa ni ho but free education aba onye obite anka ye nyim de anka dama yimpa no oda ma besi aba na akonya ma ne ko school enso offenden dama besi amba no nyimpa no ohwe no ose memfa won ko school but imboa no so owo school ni mu ye mostly no se ebefo bi wo community ni mu achi do ye recommendation obi enhu abafra bibia na ho chire no e wo community ni mu oko school another se obi amba mu a otum je school ana yetum ye boa nyimpa no ba se nyimpa no nko school aya na wa koye bibia oho enti reason why mbesi amba ne bi nko school because se bia onyo obiti anabi wo kwa onyi maame ana papa ne tibat maame na ana papa ne atonaze oye ibi be kada market woman os mayenko kom na yenko tonaze wa bra oda oko school ena early child marriage and teenage pregnancy they still exist enti yemu na yembesi amba non JHS1 class 6 na wa start na we koyinsan na we je school no into ontumuntua school no drusubio ini na affect number na of mbesiamba na woko school nti bi wo ho itum ko school bi na ehwehwe bi like ehwehwe obi ote ebi a Cape Coast but eboshona Cape Coast fu na won ni na sabe wonya ni di like won ho ka won ho school no mu nti intum mfo infambo ano infambo
Ebusia menyi ekubia ofano comfort one din the wobo mesiamba wo hye won nkran wo bo won education nim wo edwuma a won so dachi bi wobenya dibio ɛwɔ society a ɛwɔ na ɛkyɛ dɛ nka yɛ mbenyimfo nkote na wɔn wɔkɔ n'enyim enti wɔn de a wɔyɛ nyen ɔnkyɛ bi a mɛbu yɛ ahoma no atum na nso abami bi na ebia wansɛm bi sɛ bi nso etum na ɛde bisa wɔn but me give to me bisa Cape Coast ekui wɔ office wɔ ha ana obi hwehwɛ wɔn n'ekyir akwan a ebia obi botum waba dɛ nso yɛ didio nti wɔn bɔ yɛn
oh etum okay ohiaze se obi ka dey say ehiaze na sambo hu de wura na hwehwɛ wan eduru a inya wan eduru nti se eye ni di na se ehwe wa sitina obutum kwa ye besi aba na nkasa na opedo or report ni issue boni bi anyi ho
what them courage you to come forward ana
ye nya manka ebi mu woda ma courage na obutum mazaban but aya bebre wontum mba farinti
because pain adwuma ye oya ye hyem besi am bebre bi wo a because ne ma minyi sika another sika od be ko school nti na afakati we to akati na benyin do
aha nti da mo mbo besi amba ni na ye hwehwe won nso ye hu wa it is hwehwe ye na ye ne office wo UCC Credit Union
okay
oya DVA le hono said the community hono say eco Credit Union ho a ye wo last floor ebaba na ye ne abo no nanu Comfort logo no bo ho kakraka serifo staircase no so a ebon there was the stickers abobo ho a oche baby a office no ho enti ye ne office no e ho na wo na say epede friend so a ebotuma friend wo 055 674893
Sidubio
055 674893
okay nti obi hiambo a ofre ewo ahomedu a obeje ne do na waman direction na waba okay ebusema mumbo ahoma no ntum na wonso bremi bi na we abama strategy fun so odo no ma to go because cases o go ha no cases o go ha no easy 0244408046 0244408354 wa su bremi bi e wa asem bi se bi a na ezebi sempefo. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Hey. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hey, Ejado.
I'm a Portugal. I'm coming. Ejado.
Okay. Ejado, yente.
The Portugal. This and you never see. And what was it about him? For me, it's a one of my. The every one of them, you know, no one was I could say for school. No, but maybe on the fair crew of blah, all to our la. What's some Bakuna now? Can you see some? What's up with my mind?
Okay. I know the strategy will be yano, papa.
Question.
Our friend, Oku school, under our, but being Biashan in Yinsan. What can we fear another one uniform break?
Okay, you do Medawasapa. Say Article 24. A cheddar abofrebia won who quine there were there Oku school. Our 1992 constitution. In Tazi Kra, yes, cases a while by Yenoho, Medono by example. I am honey then. Sabofan also our area into motion. And child marriage is prohibited. Our mind. Inti aze kura ye ne de ye bebo modern say education ministry aze awoda ba ne de back to school e wo wi a wa wofo anebusuafo betuma agemmofra ma no then akọ back to school ye nyi mrebi oye owo ho de hye ne kete de abofra na wo de wo war no aze kura ye ne de busuan no wo de wo ye adwen na wahwe abofra ba na wa aba no how a ye behwe no but emre bi enyi ho hye de kiti de e wo de besia na enyi na enyi nsen no epia na etiko manoko ware da bi odomra emretia because I share child act na a children's act section 47 talking about maintenance of moframa into ono no yehwe cases oba ye ho na ye handle na ye use the momra no de hwe de abofra bia wode na abawi at na wode wo hwe no oye eja enenna wona asede de wo hwe no but yen shekete de aw ene benyi na besia na awo enyi besia na awo ni ntine oye emra de wode benyi no oware besia no dabi
na dame import dam no ebi abofra no ye under age benyi no kro na oya no dam no nsoe
under age no ndo wo ma hodro on and then ye nkohoba meti ho kakra enwude ye wo defilement case ono no eko police station that is 16 below 16 and ye wo bia 18 one or ye adult wo dwen ho ba ade kro ne de wo dwen ho na ba na abemu ewie no atmasa ho no wo say abofra ba no ai de na adwum we boy that is 18 years yes. But ban rape defilement case na nyinsen ko ba de no police case and fam ba strategy kra ma ye dwene ho de sa abofra ba na aba no ni maintenance ho ene ye hwe ene ye handle enti bibie ni ho hye de e wo de ye friend de ye fan de 80 abofra ba na aba na wo de ware no ye hwe how ye be hwe abofra ba no then the nipa oba na ne ho aba asem no what else can the girl do if wo ho kwan de wo do ku school ye be hwe de awona a hwe the madi aban ebusuanfu na beta echi na abofra ban wat na ku school say juma na wo do osua na ya hwe how obetumi esua nti say if we are looking at even comfort their mission near the other na obuama if we see said the family is not capable want to monsha then a honorable day ya link it up with them so abofra achire baby abaya ha ni situation ni ebi opedo osua juma what na abofra ban is eligible to bibia wa provider then in a way it gives that girl child a way to earn herself a living into this is what say you can there your friend then comfort what they boy this are the support they bring but the chronic there sometimes in age and no determine the more than a walk or no and who's so any asoya wash
okay nti ejado meji de maami Abigail ajubi kwache abankwa where you are no all right but maami Gifty member odo in your selection process or age limit there be a nyimpan we nyine kodu dem ebri nti on qualified on eligible to be rolled onto the program ana
Bachelor Dabi.
Age limit bi anim.
Enti ekoyen senior high schools.
Okay, nti pocho jam eba. Obi abema memfa na wi ana ya aka. Good afternoon.
Afternoon, Eja.
Yes sir.
Woman Ejima.
Ejima da se papa.
Eja pocho Eja do na samu sai. Na ni ya ko
me pocho ebotum ejine ye se na ma ejine ye mamuna numu ye eyi yanti.
But yeah.
Okay, me too.
Yeah, nti me ko de Eja do na samu sai me so ka ka ho. No fan there. No fan there. Mo wa pa betia. Mara ntumi na me san san ko ni twem akọ secondary school. Ana from there to go ko. Na abe me sa ba tele no so tele na la oyin na be yensan. Wa wo wie ano ebe be yin no ko school. Ame be betia ano ebe nti on tum ko school. Enti ọlọba no abaka mana ebere first one tum nso so abaka ma ami waya abaka na ma hwaban anada ọlọkọ abenche no anada metero ko no ho no hwe yesere na me fanda shiraji na ọmọ ma na he on tin ye men so na oye ya papa
okay ba so me da see chanyo ni ma sabka
okay popi ya da see the masse me on the oguma hodo nti my message there how if you encounter any problem like this Ye na asre wo Senate House 3rd floor. Eho na Shraj office wo. Ye nkyerɛkyerɛ enu nti na ye bo de ro bebre at a girl child education. Ye ma wo hu and ye wo reproductive health education. Ye ma mofaba no hu de see a edui. Sa oba ne de ekodi de ma agro ya. Ebetu menyinsen, ebetu menya yareba. All these things help to like say preventing more from mano alcohol, but the thing is say on they say emra or how to what to guide emra or how to discipline ye nyim that ye set to root because obi befum intaze krone there waba when it comes to us now what is the way forward now there is a child and that is the paramount issue now. So the paramount issue is the child and the girl child. Sisian in the internet kade nzema bebre wa ba ye betu ma ye de aboa girl child ne na abofra ba no wo ho. Entum kade chinchina achi yenko ye bi antwe we ben benyi na so ana de bibi ye hwe hawa ye be hwa abofra ba na oba no adze kro betu de na abra abo asana ye ti ye kanini na abu ni ye ka.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, I'm coming this man.
Yes, sir.
All
right, that's it. Me too.
The imping finance and the watching at the power. Ne Manson, Manson, no, you say, comfort if you say, you can share. I could say, you know, wanting to me one day. One would tell no one, Miss Alfonso, send you for. Indeed, we can share the same. Don't know one bonus or idea. School now, Bono Cassette. But you can see the option in this situation on him. But after now, soon news to show them one chair, the name finish so or you at school. But about or you do option signing Juma. Anna one born or talk on water that might be an one fin up school. But option signing Juma or two or bonk of now. But imagine Chaddy.
Okay.
Oh, you're in a column in a gun and you could school say, you know, what you mean. It's mean so or aspect there. But our bones and more.
Okay.
Senegal comfort in Nima, they be an award you second but one to Bonomo on co invest. Into say, oh, baby son or a million
Juma. Okay.
I will be an HA. Would you only across? I'm coming no coin your day, Ghana, you could screen you may.
Yeah, so yeah, Mammy, the second question,
the second question. Mouse more, maybe you want I moon get this about how application or copy Juma. You don't bobby, but said it. I don't know the moon quay with you. Oh, there are no opera baby, but then if ye in boy you as you want, you need physical as a moon quay. In time we make what made you another could make share and minute to the moon as a moon quay. Made a mean, what would you at them?
All right. Well, so good, I say. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. What's your na me bisa de ebia na a single parent na obasonen we school by when they need degree na grade no nya no yi nti berim bisa de say opedo wo bo wa be process na e be for da obotum wa bo ma wa ko ninyim wo university na de tertiary.
Okay, nti a single parent now obano so okotra exams we twa kama pedo university
9.
All right. Ba me poche obe you ano ai.
Yo.
Okay. Good afternoon, last caller.
Good afternoon, yes, man.
Yes, sir.
Agbena, taxi driver Mori.
All right, Agbena, into you.
The comfort for why I'm a member about because your last born, or Francisca, or real school, Yamasa, one also national or awesome young Pantama guest, also Uncle Bonadma, also national, or JP, I mean, I know where the comfort who worked me there with the Masapa, one quarter. One hour, one on my insurance.
Yeah, I mean, sir, so for the testimony, however, I'm gifting a mammy Gertrude. The Yenya Kunobisa 2-in-1 question. Na ya mammy so baby sir, single parents, never no witcher, Hiambwa, Obutumwa Bonwa. Mammy for last calling, what didn't you know? Good afternoon.
I'm coming now.
Papa.
I'm sure why. Because what's the last caller, but I just tried it. What's my anyway, I should call you for the 30 driver. Come now.
Yes.
Comfort, no, real, honestly. But now, me, the minimum say, a do what's a new school or not? What I say.
Okay.
I'm specifically bully, my Kuna call SS. Now, quite normal of girls are no more comfort. And to now, move for me, a dumka crime, to know, or copy say, these are comfort girls. What I say. But let me do her. But I think so. I mentioned they agree or something like that. What I say. And I think so. But the booster said, at what level now? Which you show mom school is it SS or another? The Bacono or qualifier or which we share no ever ABI universities and
okay.
I because new school means certain things. I'm level. I'm going to do another visa, and I want to ask her. Which you do? I'm university. I'm going to do a job. I'm going to pay the mom and answer. I mean that's my question.
Fantastic, Aisha Khalifa. Mami gifting a Mami get treat. Over to you, Jolati.
Should I funny one?
Yes, you're fun one.
And she said, Mirifa, music and alpha, single parent in Porcaseno. And see what comfort does is when you're donors, our support, what is support. And see mostly donors, no now, work at the ABA, Miss Cana may decide a measurement, but they share, but from our what today. But that dish myself mostly no I one clauses but currently tertiary support no or your for your name myself na ya show one way SHS no and the ya show one bebre nti either your pede ye zone besi baby na ya sa na ekoso bi fufuru aha nti ye support currently no your for one na ya show one ewie SHS no but yenya do na obeka de obia is eligible you buy advertisement no and she said, Miss Mihori example, I mean, support from SHS, but me time, no, MasterCard or BBFN MasterCard Foundation, they partnered with Comfort. And so that was how I got the support from the tertiary. Inside the Miss you'll be in the question, I know, was supported to the tertiary level. And now for Ejumano, because all my mentorship na zininti. Epe day Ejuma, one more Ebi Obia when Ejuma. I mean, they many Maria. If a interview be say maybe I mean with the major link be or be a motuma me to group beam. They me girl see a juma be a boy day our ye day I interested no by apply. Sisterhood support no otumo boasuma in obinya employment. Me make alpha question.
Okay. And living legend finally. Gifty.
I do obi beside there say yours ni bi ba na so wo pe mboni bia kwambe no ba fat antina make dey amazing kana ma number no ya no office line no ho enti abribia na say hu obi a ohia mboa na ope obi ni na kasa obotum afra office line situation biara ye be access na mbobi wo hwana was abo
nkanka mbinsa amana we to akatene mbinfo wodun cohabitation
aya ye pedam vim na wodu twi kotira mbinfo wodun won fa dam vim na mbra office
oye hu bi na neba na meso no hwa na ye na
there was a question be so about entrepreneurship skills no campaign for female education, but on education and cutting. And to them, music and they don't be a horse and they young fan share into entrepreneurs. And so only day no be bad. You won't be self be train one. You won't be self plumber, you know, international girls are a or be currently all international because of Kosia Tivet. That means an ejumane on the or ejuma be ambassador tampon koho. Ahanti your entrepreneurship office be into Obandama we advertise and to say you'll be active on WhatsApp, active on social media. There mostly advertise there. Day. This is the criteria. If you are interested, you apply for it.
Why electricals, why
electricals, hairdressing, day. Oh, eba.
Okay.
It's on your school cutting because you don't know be school or
all right. But I see comfort. But Mama Shraj, so obi pon nature kwaya Mami Abigail. And we bodiness mo boni na trust dodo. Obi pon nature kwana e be situation bim. but opedo oba on office na ordinary assemble to nim na wo born wo kwan bi do one office bia wo na ahoma obotum afrafa do.
Okay, meda wase the prempren they met check the location of the office and say be oba ho na bibi wo ho what the needs in command ye be hu because normally when the cases come to us it is being assigned to a case officer and sometimes bibi wo ho ono na ota be frefre oni ho na obi fufu I take you over. So your location was Net House, that is Kingsway last floor a ho na Shraj office wo. Ye wo other district offices wa ha Twifo Himan wo ho, ye wo Elmina Kraye wo office wo ho, ye wo office wo Aguna Stredo Winiba your friend is saying Asimfo Su into offices in the Bebre into Cape Coast the premping the upper Cape Coast office there ye was Net House e wo Kingsway last floor would ase ho na ampo bisa security for na wo ho ne se wo pe Shraj office pempacho on betro.
Well, that's it. I mean, Gifty, you recall last Saturday was International Women's Day. I mean, Kabibi Chawunya Numbe Samano. You're particularly concerned with cohabitation.
Okay, and the last Saturday, you celebrating International Women's Day, and you need to know accelerate action. The action is start, but how are we accelerating it? We put them use that opportunity share besia babiara nkran. There, kiskiti be area born who biara men paba because unya num besia no so gudu warisho. Monsom nun ye gudu yare na sanyanda mpo na ebo huhu foso a ochina e better ase enti mesa kanen wana way to if won fi oyin beyimba na akotena no ye pon na acho na ye hye na da won sanem brefi na won bafo won book serious na won ko school na se ko school a mbo bebre wo ho ma awu besia nan sesi ampon beyimba nan when you brain na we're not being because Bibia was Bessia, Bibia Besia. You had there be accelerate the action, the action to change, the action to encourage each other, the action to empower each other. And see Obiaran Brefie, na Obiaran for Bibins Neyodo. Obo Bonan Casano, Nucro womb, and a Ghana man. Na Yanze, Yawaha, there Bobwa, Yaho. It's my kind.
But that's it. I will get truth. Yariko. Or final words.
My final words in there, Mesha Bessia Bunkran, Bessia Babian Crande, Uncle Danya Zaurian. Na debi no be hunin sunsando. Mema on kade situation be ama when to one konenim because to every situation there is a way out of it. That's it.
But I say, every year you do so. I in your room we free camp. I'm Abigail.
I think you made from last word I made back home Women's Day. May you so Shraj yen focus for Women's Day celebration. Mary the Kakrebi that is under Convention on Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination against Women. Inti acquire befada BBR or Hendan Besafo. And all man besafo won't call when you nano. Say by one article 11 dear. Also the right to equal remuneration, including benefits, and to equal treatment in respect of work of equal value, as well as equality of treatment in the evaluation of quality of work. Into way may they share man crime. Say, this convention came into establishment in 1981, but Ghana and the ancient shall say 1986. There, since Abesia Juma, you have the right to equal remuneration. Yesika, I betua, and Mamma Embu Bonfia, because under ya Labor Act no section 57 or can Besia say Elqua Impua, a woman maternity leave. Apart from maternity leave, you have the right to full pay. I was here the man in Timbesa for yan say and hokina. Ghana, we are doing so many according to the your friend is saying your team no accelerative action. Yeah, Numa Bebre affirmative bill ɛwɔ hɔ a yɛda aba anti witchcraft bill ne nyinaa yɛde yɛ nzɛma bi a ɔbɛboa epagya mbesafo nti yɛnhu dɛ siisa no nnyɔma bebree wɔ hɔ a yɛde egu akwam ɔbɛboa mbesafo ne yɛakɔ yɛnyim nti yɛnhyɛ yɛn ho kena yɛnyɛ adwuma yɛyɛ adwuma sɛdeɛ ne mmenyinfo no bɛyɛ adwuma no yɛbɛgye ho akatua pɛpɛɛpɛ biribi adwuma yɛbɛka dɛ yɛ besia nti ma yɛma o 2 cedis yɛma benyin no 5 cedis nti meda wala
medase akatua no wagye no pɛpɛɛpɛ nanse dia obempo easy o oba besia oje busia yedesi aha Kastle 90.3 FM yete oye mami Abigail Ajubi Kwache Abankwa ofri oye Stretch damaso na Gertrude Obo and afi Gifty Coffee ofri oye Comfort obey Emma easy in komo ehwe nature kwanya woni telephone number ni mami send phone to go inform bill Comfort woni telephone number ni ebo na abuma mbo bi ehie bia no awanyi woni ndim komo or within their jurisdiction or 0556 748935 0556 748935 ya me insure bebre mutwa mo abesisi ameba nkomo enka no so yazibɔ chiado amo Kastle 90.3 FM mema no hodo dwumezi ene ya tsede. I'll be back. For messages in the brand, now in come dive straight into the conversation this very afternoon. On it to be a retain if you be a high Kastle 90.3 FM, call Facebook Kastle 90.3 FM, like the page, share, now leave your comment. Makan meze amo. Damaso na yani various platforms are yedi you messages in so or active this very afternoon. Text message and a WhatsApp message 0244 408 046 0244 408 354 and WhatsApp and able to mine 0244 743 143. Fafado ewo na fabra na yensi inkomo. Na is in coma. Nyame adomochna finally the finance minister as the 2025 budget in Boko Akoto embrashe begofe nyina wonenyim Ghana yana kon Mexican oboke kezi in komo ewo ho. Before then finance minister Kokrom onye amanfo binum ordinary Ghanaians kodidi in komo damaso na hosti oye abefu kwando X space nso o engage oye Ghanaians on once on a submission into the budget. Now, Finance Minister Dr. Kastle Forson has emphasized that the 2025 budget and policy statement will be instrumental in stabilizing Ghana's struggling economy. Speaking during youth engagement section on X Spaces, hosted by social media influencer Kali J, Dr. Forson acknowledged that despite recent efforts, the country's financial situations remain precarious. I'll say, let me make this point. Let's not deceive ourselves that the country is out of woods yet. Our economy is still in distress, and the first thing we need to do is to take measures to bring us back to the stability that we deserve. Only in summer, Dr. Kastle Forson Ozitugwa or Patrick. Finally, the budget will be presented. Now we take off. Yenzin komo.
I'm going to Mebada Patrick gave me the smart to battle if not. Or Pacha there, and all that some dream. Or Pacha the MP before and did away and a president Maham or share whom Oma honorable Ricky taking appointment and MP before and did it. Now, also about the Yasha agenda 2028 as on 38%. I know about you here agenda. I mean, always are going to fan tour. See, I'm coming now. Answer na ye busy and common or budget or days in can yet budget as so that you to me situate conversation in a contest. Until we be said a budget on your base. Bro, you back there or a detailed financial plan or cover a particular year. So in this case, you know, in 2025 fiscal year, now or share a corner abandoned for do benye sika, and now overspend sika obenyano. Now, kwamna, the munko may very, very important because one or day to me yehu nyaman kukure bien binta or ye Dr. Toforson or kade yan budgeti bosho kono bafada bronyi baka de oba stabilize yan economy. Don't forget that nyama ebie nor ho yen sisi awa Ghana ha often yen sikasa hu oye e ka ojujura wa men hen America say bosa ya abo oroko 800 billion anu dan chana bebre ya adwono nkro azibiso anu so reason yen nya pa onenye mabronye fan interest and amortization.
Okay,
amortization ye insi ho ayetua wo bosa ya abo na oye MPP aban ne last 2 years ozi be fidi na sika nko do tua ze manhwana wa aba no bosa e fa ho no ma we ntua. That is why Adam domestic debt exchange program no obom e ka oni bi wo ho no ma push about 2025 instead of don ko do tua 2023 2024 no na abani nyiska hiende to GDP otumu kra ko do 100%. Nti na hu be hia de obepia ka oni bi za akọ enyim ano na okafa Adam domestic debt exchange ne ze be no menyo say every month be always cover that abandutia. In fact, here sika already a for amortization. It is believed to be around 20 billion for this year alone. Into a show there or that ban or sika na osho corner over for that obotum ode chetia a cow man who ahahan. nti se abane be ya kwane ben no obo fada obeya onfa ehawo mfa nkwankoto timemfodo. That is the focus of this budget here. Oye Dr. Atoforson Oze Reba. Na isha Dr. Atoforson na President Mahama aye bribia on time see when budget presentation. There woboko gwado ana woboko abano no ekwete timemfo no nyama oho hon.
But just a mere formality because I know for sure that budget were prepared that and their input now or fixed in where.
Yeah, initially I also had that plan. They're looking at time in our work and whether this engagement in a bubble until I had a conversation with an economist. No, or Mamata said there. Sometimes when inputting is not in physical terms. So what aban more yenye de otie hwande okay for when you are for share equal jumado. Now it is up to government to give it monetary term. In the engagement away no onye enyo do keke. Now government will know baby odo pien sika ozoko. Looking at input na timemofo no was aban. That is why America there or there bohwana about no. Because first na nke bohu there politicians no boduna metimemofo. Yen you afraid that these are the problems that timemofo will face. But Igbo kofom no none to them. Anana obika there the real economy is at the marketplaces. It is a abanutum osifom the finance ministry led by Dr. Atoforson wotum was send form. Na wanye timemofo kasa na obisa wana how na wotum was a budget cinema or yaza or de yotum yebo wana abado ankasa. Ibio aban kwan na budget ya waba presenting or chinin obo buama yetum ya stabilize yane challenges ya yereka ho asem yoye yane huge debt no nya amortization or there yetuen but nara man hint kakra nti hint no do na mezi begina first one na Dr. Atoforson no ken was to cutting wastage in the system anko amna nyama bebre wo hono ma aban yo twom we twom koya o spend this ka wo ho a it was needless bronyi beka dem for so bi anyo national cathedral ya bet na free do ya kan bebre that alone was costing us $53 million nijizi there academics can you botum ya da she baby and come for so baba ho nti this budget is looking at nyama ye freedom for so nyi ho de ye yifi
and the national cathedral no why you over politicized Anna?
No, I'm at that time I'm not in disagreement with putting up a house for God. You know, chapel. What we say that you contribute to be. But as at the time, you spend the Misikano was such a project. No, the question is, was it needful at that time? Hey, baby, now you for the there just $53 million near spend. No, when you say there's a company called I think Waterfield or so. Yeah. 1 year or court.
Yeah.
Seeking for judgment debt amounting to about 120 million Ghana cedis. Yenya no wiskem tuano. Malian embassy once or share they able to one account. Apart from that, judges one bungalow yobubui. All these resources are nina. Yes, sir. And the question is, no we here they best spend the Michigan on such a project, Anna. And then a year it's a wasteful expenditure. Dan budgetary in shadow be sika for such ventures in view. Auto debut. Budgeti washa there nyama obobo hia ma yetum yen sika na hoanzen akosor obosha there odi enyu obosha ho. A typical example in agriculture last time you came there Bonyi Bakada it's unconscionable to spend over $100 million just to import yemazi mbo when ye madam tawo nazi yetum ye spare crack to the tune of 100 million. I mean abon man no bo ya damazi ye bo hwe do obokọ n'anyim nti enyu obokọ agree ko ankasa ane na President Mahama ne campaign mo hye ase oka nkokọ nketenkete a yenu anom wanted the concept behind nkokọ nketenkete was your politics ankwam na the reason enye there nkokọ ye crazy bagana han odoso ojigen sika dodo ba se yetum ye boa nanka as part of entrepreneurship obia tum ana youth no tum hwe poultry nkakra obo reduce yam burden on importation of poultry nko obo bo hen bebre ma yeni sika na ahonzen so akoso na ejuma so waba. So that's another aspect budget ye hwenwa there oboshe. Another thing no so budget ye hwenwa there oba address ye reducing expenditure. You were wasteful expenditure. You were reducing expenditure. In Sunsunye there, wasteful expenditure, reducing expenditure. Certain ministry bu entum nka da rem fund. Na emum sika ye zo kɔ hɔ no ye bɔhwɛ de ye betew do. Aban record obi an tighten the belt. Nti saban zi sika zo kɔ ministries bi oda no so hwɛ de sika mo ziri kwe. Mfaso wɔ ho de or de mo zo kɔ hɔ ana value for money. Just last 2 years, 2023, the office of the president alone, we spent over 10 billion, allocated 10 billion to the office of the president alone, under President Akufo-Addo. 10 billion. The question is, was it worth it there? The government machinery at that time, and when you hear you best spend over 10 billion, or only the office of the president, office of the vice president in Mayu. Into all these things, the president Mahamarika there's a need to reduce expenditure with certain ministries. Inti washa ministries in the farm honma where you fi honmo. It was for a reason. The budgetary allocation was ko nyina wobaka was album not the yetum save certain resources. Inti these are some of the highlights yerishe. Another thing you promise I make it to Ghanaians on the scrapping of e-living on your COVID taxes. And a Pan American KPMG one report worker there scrapping COVID no e-living, it will cost us about 6 billion. That is the revenue you're able to lose. Into President Mahama on your doctor to forcing when they use to solve that problem, because obviously it will affect us. Because all you're done, you scan no matter how bad those levies are. How do we then solve that problem? Only the conversation last year came the need to widen the tax net. Problem na the brain now with MPP aban only burdening the already burdened taxpayer. Inti onam there obi yinyama or pot they are ready to get aban ejumeni they are ready to get into those few people na they will be able to taxes aban okafa ozeba Americans. And don't forget that we are on an IMF program. Inti taxes ni bi ohonoma why there amemενεμφι onam dam policy na yazi ya hu ya da kashem ninti. So government hopes to expand the tax net. Onenye nwana won't your tax. Wo pedal to my amanyi otum okwenenyim. Wobo boydam net nimu. Na wa chirim. I've always believed there the conversation has to be with the education. Obi anchiri do your tax. Na mum ti memunye no hwade mutua tax na mo no won foso do waziri ye dwuma na. So it is up to government to explain the minyame to nwana won't your tax no. No one you now will treat no one one taxing was easy juma. So these are highlighter we are expecting there about obotum washe. The last one American want some is the involvement of the private sector. It's a last economic forum ya will host here. I pay particular attention to private sector when input. And more can you there? Some of the taxes now you cheer were porting. I'm not can one normal in Yamano bo oyazan. Sisi America say Nyama ye wakra was a bagana han. Bebre na for kon be the what crazy fi Togo. Because Togo operates a porter won tia taxes them ye tia wa Ghana hadin. Ane ka ono ma Togo cast na dumi bebre nkofo wafado was a Ghana hadi. So there's a need to create a harmonized tax system at the porter. Obobo ma inflows na dosun. Ankwam na inflows no dos na indirectly yenya more taxes for the nation. So these are few highlights. Mejizi there. Aban wa prepare. Oya President Mahama ne abana prepare. Oba set us on a sound footing for 2026, 2027, 2028. Ozibo we understand.
Yeah, anticipate or new introduction of taxes because you are promising that you are promising tertiary level 100 for obey free. Now, and the news, the school feeding will increase one Sikano to 2 cities.
Yeah.
Then free SHS policy. Your government said we don't have a specific basket, revenue basket, or the support. Are we to anticipate a tax regime ebi over cover the me a year.
No. The deputy finance minister may whether there will not be new introduction of new taxes. And it wouldn't be fair. The taxes nearly before the kwesi koso or kandan or that firm and wama there wouldn't be introduction of new taxes. Mayere kani no or yesikasam. That is why I'm more than me basing. Kwan able to me after they generate sika. Even those ways for expenditure na meken. Ankwamna budget for free SHS according to finance minister Nara then Oforiata was about 2 billion. Compare that to that $58 million they spend on National Cathedral. Compare that to over 200 million they spend quarterly on a fund and one district, one dam. Compare that to an amount of about 1.5 billion they spend in war planting for food and jobs. Into all these things, oyesika oho, it has to do with priority. See a pede young from woko school, no work on year. We need to prioritize that. See a pede here na Greek, okosor, na yen import, ye mazina nunka can we obofoma. We need to prioritize that. See a pede abanere kachra abane jumaya for the one titan and one belt no. There's that commitment to it. We need to prioritize that. Into more these key highlights there. On fata, there you able to me spend over 10 billion only on government machinery, only on the office of the president. You to me a church or you honoma. You able to me yebi. Near that show. School feed na making. I've always believed. Can you in them kwamina 1 cedi 20% to feed a child? What will be the quality of food the Yesba Mamba Framan? Into 2 cities na rampa bana tumun over close to 100%. And these are bana ya zanka. But the question is
these 2 cities in the Crampono.
Exactly. Injehu. Inti already a 2-year church baby nkakra near the sheshe ni na amun. Don't forget the 2024 budget our passing. It also calls for the reintroduction of road tolls. At least the government will be met halfway with Honoma Kakra. Able to me as I shame as I into some of these promises, NDC are so committed to it. Mbesha Ghana for Bonnie and Kade, Onama about 20 years. No, we are committed to it and we know how to manage these expectations. Nina.
All right, Patrick, yeah, for the men say, yeah, Patrick Aqua. Yeah, 2025 budget. Finally, Nami Adoma Ochina, your expectations.
Is a Kokomotsi Kweya? Was a Sultan or was there then? Was it joke?
Oh, okay.
Our one of some. Essay. I am some liman. I am MP da. I deputy minister da. I minister da. I vice president. I shadow president. I president. And I was a Yazi mo adwene na ogutrim.
Omani your shadow president o.
Mpocho beba. Yazi mo adwene na ogutrim. Awon po time ne ka che de warrior president. Awu na wu cronies. Warrior man ni sikan enaman mo kan bio bone marrow ni na mu fifio mo de kan wan ho. Ina scan sign. Ina Ghana fu wotu mo. Na nado danko akufado we be siesie. Ghana fa ato abe etun. Eserba yemo kwanabo correct 2 mistakes. Omanpin Mahama Nasa no making His Excellency. But correct 2 mistakes. Mistakes in momo baya. Nanu yara no under the bayo and one in the JJJ. A few more couldn't put con. In your Ghana for ako social contract. Apple Pay manifesto. Most more call Bebia, more call ghettos, more call nightclub. Muko bebiara muka janu mwe ezebo pay wo manifesto afe baya social contract na as Ghana for Kwen is atwenchen yam form committee education committee economic dialogue school feeding for form committee na ochina me finance minister or the budget boko parliament. Na before was the budget na boko nimpol akohwi NDC ino mampan Mahama wo hu de wonyo opposition bi mu kwamina sisia were party in government into at least Omampin Mahama is swear oath of allegiance. They me makano kwa at any point in time. Now you my reho. Oh you my reho. The assemblies of God in ye. Edin so. Next is it no kwa not war. Now for propaganda.
Why are then CCR?
Meba.
Okay.
For propaganda at na opinion fie na worry nanka na mafaba na renanka na wanka wo kana nka wefa o ka hubi nti kamenyim de NDC full bi mo a wo one someone one task papa wo party abapa wanti oye ho de wo ka nko wa 100 over papers ni na was amon nka botume hunu kwaren na ka ache he ne bezin akohwi na ato force in Kastle onyimnyamfo odem propaganda nti watu ni nyimzi achen na wafa kohwi na otumfu turugu nkofo enwom kwam na what's Ghana ayeden nya Ghana ya na his excellency na nado dan kwa akufado o the light ni gina do 8 years nya Ghana ya NDC force ateto apansami ene yenya one constituency one ambulance nya Ghana yara NDC force ateto apansami ene yetubi ye the biggest social policy oye free senior high school nya Ghana ya ateto apansami yana hen papa van napoy okache and akufado nyi legacy but 3 years by on the wafa national coordinator Ghana ya ateto apansami ya na the mazi yoz by Ghana yara ateto apansami I'm coming to the team. Ghana yara ateto apansami ni yetubi a constructed over 13,000 roads. Ghana ya ateto apansami na se
over 13,000 kilometers of roads
make come asam. Kwame na mam come asam na mko.
Oh, no. Patrick, I will tell. In that platform, on your man come asam. Ekasam you need to prove. We also do our checks. Inti ekre mamen kama asam.
Yo, mama source. All the people mama source. Mama kama asam na mko. Dam Ghana yara what's ma? Echi Mahame, Kwame na. Etefu tem ye no one who the NDC for. No kwar if you wenum. No kwar if you wenum. No kwar on kasa in 2016 before ba hand over ama na na do dan kwa akufado. Ni state of the nation address okache he there here gross international reserve order ho Kwame na litem gross $6 billion $6 billion na akufado ozere mo na owo se Ghana na ateto apansa man intinde intum yed abayed intum yen ojaw $8.9 billion Kwame na difference ahe catch up. Come in a catch up, man. Difference I had
over 2 point something billion.
Or a positive and no negative. Come there, me young
say yakwe
yakwe Intaku fad why are that no yard? Come in a million conversation.
Oh, Ghanaians will answer to that.
Ghanaians will answer. Yes. So the masters will judge.
Yeah.
Enti obialo tell is 1 2 e 3 bars 4 na 5 enum 6 ya. Enti yim na ye numerous 8 is or switching 6 into a chede holding pon na na do dan kwa akufado na baomia wa perform better chin Mahama in kan o wulu fia be me no nye in the ateto biom answer no wulu be fi abeme is akon in your trade balance it is in the negative Kwame na negative 2%. Kwame na yet 2 fiba ye hu ye ho ano in the according to Ghana Statistical Service, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, you need surplus. Mubwa, oh ya no kware. Dam Ghana yellow. Dam Ghana ya. Dr. Kastle atoba forsen. Ena omampin Mahama waka che de dam Ghana ya ye ka ho asemi ateto apansemi. Dam Ghana yara. Na se ye zamo na zo budget ribotugwa. Na se inyi ihu ada abaka acha Ghana fu nanti pede iye ne benyina we hu oba afofo no open moto ringa mo we ketine baby wakoto ring paint momto owie also me yanko bi wo ha onim ring mpa yanko ne yanyen kache no botuma achechim ona to ba force ne prepare budget na ewien ba na be x space a ibe engage youth aha the work economic dialogue ni wo fro ho kaya ye food in the head kaya ye food no in the market woman na Dr. Mahmoud Baomi obaka cho there or there o send we vulnerable in society nti ye pe baby more than and this if catch and on your priority moboa but we see hostess amo the mo ko free no kesha hon enne wo ho won faso na prepare budget na ewien ba na kesha hon na the economic dialogue kwam na ofro ho odu baby a wonum teen why den zam fro ho na ochina le budget na keke na eti the work de mwana mo here ba mwana mo be campaign mo ka che he de mo be te he so ya adwin wo mun ba na ba na budget na won prepare we because according to my MP Honorable Felix Kwachofosu government communication in the we issue statement there cabinet waji atu government ni expenditure ni bibia waji atu because or the what to man son was a parliament me we read my parliament
so and you need that between this time no a certain adjustment based on in the finance minister hosting people on X and then going into the street.
Yes, do you have contrary evidence?
Missy engine did there ebia
so probability
yeah
min did there we them no why you because work cabinet or there was my home woshuma san or akatina do kwam na moboa enti paint momento that day akra on ye ka che Ghana for there dem nkrofu ye hu yenyim hoda nenyim za obotum waye enti wo ka asama iya teni ye afa wo ka che he there yes yamra cost sharing because o man mu ayedin yenyi problem baka che he Ghana for better because one educational forum no waba ya tasi de CCR a certain aspect of the free senior high school no or your cost sharing kwamina wo me example including boarding moboa but them Ghana yera at 2 yera them time in a boarding or a cost sharing na kwamina boarding in the feeding fee secondary school education mu teaching na lawyer hen uniform na lawyer hen kwamina oya hen na mamuhu yo me bizarre Jesus the proposal be the our boko A schools boko B schools in on is go to ya na no we free the constitution or cheme there in terms of the education there shouldn't be discrimination in terms of gender creed color kwamina oh man no nyim nti iya the mazina in chere are you fulfilling constitutional obligations dam Ghana yellow always sat to happen semi obi ne time and otumi oye the ye no what did they know yo monyo otumi ye the or ye these programs na bana bafa what it was the jawa no was asuya was the jawa and it was the lamentation no doors on my pay Muhammad and this one with the when your position be up they are government they have to find the money and do as Ghanaians would demand into them hesitate.
So there is no need there Oboko Chrome to seek inconform ideas or views on the proposed budget.
Kwame na mankedo onye need. It is needful. O said the minister biara responsible for finance or the budget ni kotugwa o share stakeholders.
Yes.
O share stakeholders because here na yacheche manen offer ye hunto o share one. Na mama kind na empopa adini wi ansa na ke share ho. Empopa wi Kwamina, one of the reasons are e-levy. Only strict opposition or parliament in there. Minister for Finance then Ken Oforiatta. Why you want them bezim command sana? Yenya way. Into no fail stakeholders in Ken. Why you want bezim command sana? Until we expect you to engage before. But on man payma hamakache there. Only the obey listening government to obey engagement no ni. Engagement no ni. But
Mrebi bind the government or the finance minister to engage youth or people on the budget, the local streets or host L1 do we have a law binding the finance minister or binding the government to do that?
Lie, Muslim lie. Kwame na
Patrick.
Ese mmerɛ bi wɔ hɔ a ɔban ne dɛ ɔnkɔhyia ho na mmerɛ biara nyi hɔ nti yɛmi na mo force no nkɔ me catch all there ɔnyɛ statute but it has become a norm there although share stakeholders although it pa bɛyɛ a pa ɛnyɛ but as in area abraham so in the interest of our hand don't forget that yen constitution no owom there the sovereignty of the people of Ghana resides in this constitution. Hen yamo home mandate. Into biara woye hen in our interest. Into a consort no oye. But my problem is there. In Kayazini we no one malamas to answer above consort. Meanwhile, dina la ye that is 1 2. Us in the baby oba obey film. Many problem because so if you may be become. But it is on record. Then na adudanko akufado on 3rd March 2017. Oyi 17 nuisance taxes. Na Korea 17.5% on financial sector. Madam sika ko to bank and Mirika ya what home. Onye Adza NDC na John Dramani Mahama His Excellency. Ewu a wodi di Ghana for them time and ewu a wodi di Ghana for them time and. In fact, domestic airline ticket it took the now the Danko Akufado and Baumia government they will be tax in order do will be yefi. Kwame na nokwara na onye nokwara. In fact, even VAT kwa no they worry what adjust calculations na azan. Ababia ba ozini policies reba. Mini problem. Esisi siara eba ma importers wadazi fi wakraba wobotu free yo, won't you free yo, bibakam. But no there in Zimbabwe wa into me yet something like ECOWAS levy. It is the sub-region. You don't have control over it. Kwame na do you? You don't. The cost of freight. Do you have control over it? The shipping line because in Zamarba, Zobe charging. Do you have control? You don't have control over it. The only thing you can do is to stabilize your currency so that the fluctuation on to China Hwazi. Inti say obi re-import 40-feet containers aba. Nasa shipping line ni charging. Nabana ibe kaseti Akufo-Addo. Does it make sense? Because Akufo-Addo does not control the shipping companies. They decide what to charge. And during the COVID, it's escalated into now the cost of rates is coming down. Indirectly, any rational human being back at your day, you call school pa or your finance, then no do battle. No do battle. Inti say it's over jetting about to wha.
All right.
Ochina, minya butter, make your budgeting, ne mete, but meti wana mo hwe din meti ato forcing na ro kasa mo hwe na no ne wana mu akohwi kakra wo dem esmo
na sa de no for mo to go into akohwe wo
mese maretwan na ro kasa na meti na mo hwe na no na mo hwe na yiwa na mo hwe o manpen na la ni state of the nation address what you call parliament my tutu ni match o su de okazi akohwi wo ho no plenty government a black these people have nothing good for Ghanaians. We will be papa di Ghana fa.
But I say, Patrick.
Oh, Kamina. Mama nunsi. We will be papa di Ghana fa. All the pass off for chow. No one didn't say we no do no bomb for man. No kind of one confession. There, state of the nation no the two guan. In fact, Ozako hui na one fan of one enchan. No fin neru kwe obaka no kwar.
Medase. Patrick, Aqua Medase. But Patrick. Make a statement on a government machinery setting budget. A kind
2 billion. Yeah. Let me cross check my aim.
Yeah.
I think that it's here. So me yeah.
Me 18 or what?
But remember, yeah, 2 billion in excess of 2 billion.
2 billion.
2023 in excess of 2 billion.
So we have 2.07.
2 points. It's in excess of 2 billion.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I did cross-checked. And
okay, thank you. There means that question.
Okay.
But you see, I'm coming there.
I mean, till 5 minutes.
Meaning baby, I know Kenya and Patrick. They be a mechanic master. Meaning baby, I know Kenya and Patrick. Because you see, AM people for a while in a day. Sebi, Bumbu Ghana man da. What yet to them? Your work campaign season man. What can Nyamo Butuma Yachra Ghana for? Until ya work as them. And I am not surprised because I am a cadet. One former communication officer, I am Mr. Akomia. also MPP ni communicate bia is in a state of shock and not dissolution. Chede sebi ona mo ton wa abatu ni ntia oye de nyama nsisido mo hone yi na ntia nyama nsisido ntia nkeda nsem yonka nsem yo keken nyayi na wazo ko campaign 2024 import cover gross domestic exchange down bro feel keken nya na wazo ko 2024 election. And what was the verdict? Until we are not in a campaign season. As for MPP track record, is Obano Kun, Ghana far past verdict, what do that? And in some year, Kekano, in Chankaman Kasa, but for the sake of your native for Mobo Bobo, nor a car 13,000 kilometers be. What parliament will be someone as in Massamo 13,000 resurfacing, regarving or Sabazabazi, Ninaka 13,000. In Chankakwa, we are Sante Kenyu way to. So was the Anya, was it she Poto Numa, was it a road a war construct such deceitful people. When I could do a better radio do or a baka MPP record on Ferumpo. Anquamna, or your bonnet your consultation, Anna. You were trying to correct him. No budget, why ye, and no evidence why him for the budget and why prepare ye. No evidence why him. One no catch and the budget and why prepare. What is his evidence? On him, the budget why prepare ye. And you see, this deceit there was a cabinet. No, cheddar, I'm not in a ha. I'm in yet in the studio. I know when there was a cabinet, my cabinet, I approve. Patrick, it's a you boko no cabinet. Yes. Is he a member of cabinet? Fellas, one. I don't know, catch on the cabinet. Oh, wait. Now, Maracas and me catch, man, prepare with taste notes in Fambo. You that damn record you. I'm coming a consultation with market woman why and last 3 days. Yes. Now why and it down meeting and that. Into about time the fellas catch and and I told you that in Yama washer with this engagement and sometimes has to do with the fiscal policies. What say go move no catch or there taxes or then Yama no done or soon. Into one fan when you do by 2%, they calculate that in monetary terms. In the way you be for free bill. Mama Sean, come on, because you campaign season. But the wickedness of MPP. Now, Oraca, taxes be a hodoma or you co tax to me and wash. These things we know. You from GRA one website. Taxes are irrigation Yama or Porter, Ibotia. None can show me there any rational human being up at their businesses or grow one minimum or better than First one, on your taxes in Nampo. First one, value added tax. Norica. VAT was you know apart from no boycotting VAT or pass or parliament. Change no get them recording. 1 year banner will increase VAT from 12% to 17%. The wickedness of MPP wanting to cripple businesses. I am impeded your call because campaign in the area we have a country to run. But wakafa abanti me enka hwasam. Share some of the taxes are will be importing Yama Uchia Ankwamana. Mobo no nkoko meda achrew na munua Patrick wehu National Health Insurance mbocho ECOWAS levy David inumu wotua Ghana Education Trust Fund Get Fund iri nyam etua Get Fund na NDC abani nyansem was a bede nche won fan ye educational fund and infrastructure what be bo obo mobusa was the sawawa was the Get Fund sawawa ye we are na import excise duty annual examination fee and signing about African Union levy or which we also agree that they are standardized levies into me. But here by annual processing fee, your special import levy, your import levy, was special import levy. And what is the difference between import levy and special import levy? Yes, our interest charge, your state house rent, all these things are. Oye levies a two was a gugu nyamada nkofo import nyama from a fund and abrochira wutia. And these things are crippling businesses. Ana na ye kan osa abaze na to force ni twa akohuna no wonkaka ka ho. Again, ankwamna munua Patrick obatena ha. Ose akofa do ne legacy ni bi nya abaze drip. Na ne drip concept no asa. No onyimokwa na drip no obeya. Occurred in a run-up to 2024 elections. Some constituencies near MPP parliamentary candidate to be queen. Some even became bloody. With a reason in your there, machines now was happening yet MPP machines. I search. I like who program because of fact check. NDC funny binya MPP funny binya crash. The simple reason in there. Machines in MPP unquote machines. And it is true. I mean, I work at the office of the MP. We even had a cause to complain NDC MPs in the day. One more quantum was one common fund arrest. What to them machines in the bay. But it is any more machines in the bay. MPs one common fund arrest in the count what to those machines. Abbott in a hurricane. Your friend and one of one is in Neil and Van der Poel, also co-founder in the legacy. Yeah, the MPs in ASI.
Yeah, hosted the information minister on this same issue, the drip issue. Also, it's purely government initiative and not.
Uncle Amina, last time I bet if it to me friend MPs, call any MP. Nebi send no common fund arrest. What was the agreement? Local government 1 year.
So it was an agreement between.
I'm telling you, government. That was why some of the NDC members, when your MPP candidate in the Queen, there was one picture. That was the reason. In you, na farabai. Abatana Haraba Mama Wabetirodo, 38% of one. Abatana Haraba Moabetirodo, 38%. Again, he made mention of Abazi, a friend then, constitution there's equity. I'm not number of equity non-taxi or share constitution non-taxi. Equity does not mean that there cannot be first class and second class schools. Equity much there. One more biara kwenya no nko the school ni bi. Sa kwenya the ho fatado do kwa nko. Na brochiri mpo yenyi ofan A schools na B schools a. Abrochiri na ye borrow those concepts. One okay the yenyi Ivy schools. We have Ivy schools for abrochiri. One not yenyi those schools in work. Okay. Again, PTA do simple work to clarify that. The more bian na onyedo obia tue sika na obia kaka de one obo tue sika afan borders in tue da mon kaka ho. I don't know why MPP for when somebody makes a proposal no was yeso nyimpa no kwan onam woni tribu ponti was yeso nyimpa no kwan. Nti membi say oforiata propose there one owo sika no won tue no in his understanding of equity doesn't meet equity. Oforiata, the then finance minister, or propose there, obi or was sikodo ochen, one man who montian, does it meet his understanding of equity? What sort of behavior is this? Mr. Dukan, Yenyum one. The verdict on their performance and Ghana far past the doubt. Into them tobe or better the may free to the baye, na Ghana for Besena Mona Kunya. President Mahama is focused, NDC is focused.
Let us say,
and I am a dead. There, just 2 months into his administration, 70% of Ghanaians believe that the country is on the right track.
But I say, the then finance minister Nsu stated that the DRIP project is not being funded by MP's common fund. All right.
I work at the office at the Who can say again? Friend one.
Okay. Patrick,
Patrick, NDC for. Why my reho? Only why expose no ho. Kwamina.
That's
what to about tier MPP. The miskana hen international gross reserve no other one. Scanayo. Kwamina me be so.
Scano Ganiska.
It's mother, it's meant to be catch on. Scano hard bagach up there. On the pass vended. Into Scanayo. Pay Patrick. Iba some can ya o de me. Man pro my military book of na never away. Them be man to turn them. Kwamina, scan on your way. The father what to abet here na adodan kwa akufado in the MPP abanu na ado enginebi Baumian MPP. The father will lose election. Kwamina almost can in Zamana waya maganan ofi ho. Kwamina ofi ho. Ofi ho. Inti iba sana baka de what to abet against MPP nti them and sema making fact are fact. Scan order ho. Onu mubi in a waba was it show my sister your currency I stabilize and biom now what about improper budget improper you sure you can't spend can you Kwamina biom no okafa a GRA once there maybe no or bozi no Kwamina mpocho say ibiba ha wadan na order wadan nimu so to your rent intiza nzame fi abrochiriba na was a warehouse ibin warehouse what you want to na into your work inti
meba the taxes are over and your money no obi de kogo warehouse in the taxes so or your importation and you may import in the taxes so warehouse in the you for no
I'm not some American antasi miss in zamana obubwen in zamana obubwen
yes
set storage na as wo momu bonchro biom na bibi so there wo yin zamana baby as won zamana bogu na ansa na clean kwamina abandon ntua ka mo ana wa na botua biom no sa no keke enyim there special import levy. It was abolished. It's one of the nuisance taxes. But yes, some no whole year in Zaman bin. Oh, Mama Kamasa, I can't maybe Mama Kamasa me.
Sikasa,
Kwame Yankwado, into special import levy or if you in fact selected import duties on Machisibi in Anzama. It there before Oman pay Mahama or Befiman onye industry players no we share ma NS coming one way in dreamers and womo leave and wotum we importing them be a oba na wontua taxes wo do moboa na now do dan kwa na ba omi oben we expanding intine wo selected import machines na items we we feed the Israel bayazma abo man there is no need to pay taxes on it we if you in fact spare parts only the first one I was so careful where when and where if you in fact 25%
taxes on spare parts.
Yes, I was so careful. No, the first budget where if you in fact 25% income tax on real estate. Abani if you into the men's way I make it can the fact that what to abetia MPP aban in Chede aban wanye the mazi oh yeah, into Jackada, the verdict in the Ghana for person, the verdict in the Ghana for person. The verdict does not rewrite the history. In zaman or a fact, a ban why the men's man, why into no muhes ever can want some. Kwamina, Mamma Patch there was a abane among lamentation, none we see. It's a boot by in a Ghana for what to abawazamo. Into ye Nana Dudan Kwana Baumia in the MPP, what about 2017? One can't check and there in Zamana or Wano or send them went to 1 year into ye. In fact, before I ever before I over in a 2 force in Ankasanka parliament. In fact, state-owned enterprise or over 175 in a beer and you are only to me making profit. Ibiara new ho but under Nanado Danko Akufo-Addo na Baumia war time before I ever me in a state-owned enterprise where Ghana state-owned enterprise 53 SOEs will make it profit Nti say a finance minister na say a penti o man or they penti o man today handing over note what the jawan or ti able to buy a politics wo able to buy politics kwamina biop emi makache matna ha makede onyi de obi a consultation and I make sure there if we are bring news emi mitei
okay
minister responsible for government communications or catch me there budgeting cabinet wa jatum no one some na emi quoting nyam na America emi ko cabinet it is on jininza on osadara but I was saying emphatically what the minister said in American Wasam. Biom Kwamina. Remember in 2016, before Ofia Bim, on Sanka for Mampain Mahama, ni State of the Nation address, there over kilometers of roads are way. Ibioma no a resealing, regaveling. Na eco parliament, ne kajisika ezabayaza Kwamina, a chazukuna is this canary. Is here into road that MPP aban yes what sedimenting your asphalt road your regraveling your resealing your reconstruction your rehabilitation your upgrading your resurfacing your new roads nara member come na member nyabuta member nina will breaking it down
okay
we're breaking it down into some more total na say ipede be some specific there imwa no ye resealing imwa no ye graveling imwa no ye asphalting in the actual because it is there bibi Cape Coast roads are way in a kwan no one yende da no was asphalt go do how do you account for that road? You account there, but or asphaltic overlay. Only be the Ekaji Sino Hydro is what's car was the was a Wofi Parliament, but yeah, some call for Fado. Until you moved them onunti the Debia Oba, what discover for your one, what won't go to know, because won't to one cheddar, the miscan as I the Mazi. Or there it church it breaking it down. Okay. Into budget your bay. You bet this guy them, yet bear them. In our office of the government machinery. Kwamina. On my pain Mahama. You will read the budget. I feel you won't sika or best spend ho. Say on Musa. You bet say. On Fuan the Kara. You bet say. And Mammy any in the ministries be a in the department and agency be a in the office of the president. I see. Into when you budget on its own. Presidency budget ni be in no cover one. Inti Patrick, oh ya mi ya there. In mi the means na. No send NDC propaganda inti. Eka in the you kwa if you in the can't them what na. Be Patrick oh.
May I say, Patrick. Now my you set the record straight and I call program ye nyina no so that wonsu hu a fact check and you may be now wonsu ehu. So the maiden edition of budget presentation or parliament, the MPP government that was in 2017. I say Parliament has passed the Customs Amendment Bill despite stiff opposition from the minority. The new law will ensure the removal of import duties on spare parts. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, who was reading the Akufo-Addo-led government maiden budget in Parliament, announced the abolishment of some taxes, including the tax on spare parts. In addition to scrapping the tax on spare parts, Parliament also approved the removal of some taxes. They are 1% special import levy, 17.5% VAT NHIL on financial services, 17.5% VAT on selected import machines that are not produced locally. Initial step to remove import duties on raw materials and machinery for production within the context of ECOWAS Common External Tariff Protocol. 17% VAT on domestic airline ticket, 5% VAT on real estate sales, and then excise duty on petroleum, special petroleum tax rate from 17.5% to 15%, and then levies imposed on Kayeye by local authorities, taxation, the gains from realization of security listed on Ghana Stock Exchange or publicly held securities approved by Securities and Exchange Commissions. So these are some of the tax cuts, the maiden edition of His Excellency
That was in 2017.
Okay.
But before they reintroduced some of these taxes and even more. Okay, wusu tax the then minority resisting emission tax and what accounted for e-levy as in
okay.
And see 2017, yes, we agree. But before they have done worse in terms of taxes.
Because say nuisance taxes, but
yes, what you don't know,
been a new taxes.
Even we're introducing luxurious taxes, that was in 2022, not 2023. Where you was and what the film. Why introducing where you feel?
Also,
I like what you are doing, but to clarify, yes. There's a news item concerning the drippy. Dated 25 January 2025. Time and we vet the then minister designate Ahmed Ibrahim.
Okay.
Into about to check graphic online. Me peda mekan what he stated. I say ne title here. Minister designate for local government Ahmed Ibrahim reveals missing records of 3.5 billion drip projects. I mean, yes, can Moshe. Me common fund as some American. I think it's on paragraph 3. I say the program funded through common fund arrears from 2018 to 2022 was meant to improve district road nationwide. The minister designate then Okada Masi in front of Afenyo Mark in seminar. Nobody challenged him. It is a finance minister because of propaganda. He set the record straight at the vetting committee.
Okay.
Until that one should be settled.
But I say, yeah, Menyoroko 2016, a report by Africa Watch, another Watch Africa. Now, Office of the Presidency overspent budget by over 3 billion in 2016. Now it says, I Watch Africa, as part of our mandate to promote transparency and accountability, can confirm that the Office of the President, led by former President John Dramani Mahama, exceeded its budgetary allocation by over 3 billion in 2016. Our assessment of the 2016 audit report on the Consolidated Fund revealed that the Office of Government Machinery, General Government Services, was allotted 2,998,826,659 as represented in the revised budget for 2016, but money to spend 6,110,999,114 Ghana cedis. A variance of 3 billion was mainly spent on goods and services, details of which were not highlighted in the report. So, Eja Patrick,
that was in 2016.
Yes.
What was the effect? After this, what was the effect? Maham had to pay for it. That is why I make it there. You wasteful expenditure and cutting down on expenditure. Now you realize that, baby, you can't be doing that again.
So how sure are we that my OC, on sending repeating?
That's why it calls for journalists now to hold President Mahama accountable to allocation be baby. And why my brother Patrick or figures and but he doesn't understand figures nor can again. Make a 2 billion allocated to President Akufo the new office in 2023.
Yes.
No record agencies in the ministry be what the shape. Yes, I agree. But that's a smart way every day be bring Ghana from where you do. I'm say Ministry of Information. Not the ministry standing alone. Ne budget here be a 1 million Ghana cedis. Ne me ministry ni fee or friend and understand on its own. Now when the cash office of the president, let me increase from 2 million, 1 million, 2 million. What have I done? Then I tell Ghanaians the ministries be a best office of the president into one budget in work or so.
But hey Patrick, so comparing the overspending of 3 billion government machinery and then the allocation of 2 billion our government machinery, which one do we have to raise alarm on?
That's why you don't have to take every Ghanaian voter for a ride.
Okay.
Yeah, they will. I'm surprised that maybe Patrick, it's not understanding there. It's because of some of these things that Ghanaians punish them for it. That's what I'm saying.
So you were also punished because of these
exactly
things.
This profligate expenditure that was why we were punished in 2016, and that is the effect I want to suffer in 2024. But yet he wouldn't understand because he's in that state in the Oguda free there one or one.
Patrick, you boy, I say, we share 4 messages in the brand. Na menkan ahade obara fact no ya do tugwa na ehu mo obi aye bia na yede tugwa na wosu ewuza okodo eho. All right, for message in the 0244743143 0244743143 and 0244408046 or 0244408354. Medba for that baby I can because we are having challenge with yani test line Eja Mike Agbeko Amamoma. Also, good afternoon, Mr. Kwame Suman. God bless you abundantly for bringing these resource persons for the education. We are very, very much grateful. Again, God bless you. No, the first segment I interview with Comfort and so Ozi Abba Elwahade. And you see, one of your Patricks is playing with communication. He is doing propaganda. He is doing which of the Patricks? Intimayehu. Because your Patrick here, boy, Hayford, and your Patrick Aqua, and Tanka, Kophobia, what he say, yeah, my you. All right, yeah, Queen. But Sakaya, recently, the Office of the Special Prosecutor pronounced the then Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta fugitive wanted. But Ken Ofori-Atta will reply, I say, I'm puzzled and dismayed. Ofori-Atta reacts to OSP's investigations. So the OSP has commenced an investigations into the issues is on Komo Ebribia Abesenoko. Ono and the former finance minister, and so Waba react to it. This is an open letter on Ozituga. Hey Patrick.
Babana. Abese today ma asamno oba ashesinara. Keche de Ghana hen constitution no obiara nyi ho a osochen emra kwamna mwa ena bono so a oyedemra oyeden onyuzi in the same constitution and criminal code in nzama offer hendada assets na ho nyina o kona say ibiye bibi na pedez na fadwa as ye moboa enti with Ken Ofori-Atta in a OSP one issue. I mean, I don't have any problem with it. But my issue is Jipa onyimze no says ona ya oya me yo because hen papa kisi ejaben imrenyim ya na wazu ekesi position bi a otedam na empede eze imra na nokwar is be ejuma ni baby no odu ho a na oya me yo na NDC fu no mampe ma ha me hwa obi a woyi na nado o ma na ejuma wo beyi na eze a nyema ebeye na wo beyi wezo kwamena wo beyi wa eze wo beyi wezi ana moboa
yes
na ibi a offer 2022 ejuma mpo weyi na ezi na wo kise jabe no nurses na teachers fu a wa ba wo ba appointment wo classroom wo chirazi wo ya sabia wo chirazi kra weyi wezi da mo fa wani go classroom a woni teacher bia da wo be kire mo azi na wo kise jabe wo kope into there he appeal to John Mahamana and this for no bonse more there kiseja bi ayazo kwamena moye me yo wo mi there enye papai mwezi misesi wezi nkomo osmo metia me na nchi mreka samo ya maba aya press conference ama mense nyina ehu there papa why bona ehwehwe no we gwan enti wiazi mu a baby o biara Ghana mrenyi ne bezi mrane nche na mra nyadam na ote na press conference nara nkrofo akoni fie na akade papa nara na wa hyeda wa akobon nkrofo pei de won koni fie kwamena oye no kwara na oye no kwara papa na okobo pei a
dewi
nte mu de kise bia jia be nyim egu asa wa ba pachawa aha wa ba pachawa se mu de nyim egu ase na ona meka cho de dem NDC fu yehu ezi wechi no wo push wiedom wo be ya za wie wo wie ne we yi hons ehu na mahama yarga okọ parliament kapachawa it made yan OSP we yi no hotam the sapepe ya zo ye nyinara oye no oza appeal NDC no manpen mahama kwamena kisi ejaben ori recently decision there Ken Ofori-Atta on ye fugitive of justice biomen kwamena wa be press conference
dabi
but all catch we as if fu nyina ne there papa we gwan emrana ntre no but so ye press conference intinde nye de bia
but there was a communique and
kwamena I was emphatic wa ba ye press conference
on your press conference but there was a communique
but all catch there papa no we gwan or ye press conference what's abon baby a watch children e hwa no wojan.
But you also agree that communique is also another means of communicating information to the public.
Kwamina, mana na ote hwehwe communicate no onte. Onyimle kise Japan je radio do, oje TV do. Ina oka. Inta me catch there, baby a watch chire abo no ho ne wojan. Ekwana efado yen. Ekwana na ndam kwana na ofado no eden. Iye. Na Yakopon no waka Ofori-Atta na akoma. Do ye Kristo yin. No ye mi aka kise Jabi maso me dinu ko mra kwando o se ne wegu mu fi Inim na maka out modern onto them. Nyemi na me it's a serious offense.
And so now an investigation good or record the misstatement no making no and I say on you but investigation is still ongoing.
Come na. Man can investigation was more.
That is our okay no yen
no press conference no kede kise ofuriata na wa fa nkrofu we stage.
Oh okay on that aspect.
On one American. Okay. The investigation is some more. On no also an investigation. On no what the further and better particulars. On no an investigation. Emi nyibi. Inti muntu become asam. SMS sam muntu bekebi. ECG sam muntu bekebi. National Cathedral ska muntu bekebi because nyemi na maka sign checking. Minyim evidence a kiseja pion den. Owo inti bi gida hade bi na American bia. Na o chere me bo bitirim. Muso ya dem hwe ansa na mama me ya odete sam. Osiza menyi fata hon. Ona manka ho asam. Inti za kiseja bin yen na American ho asam. Zaki seja bi ye na American WhatsApp but mama kan there ibiara iwo wiase mun eyaza hwechi kwamena kiseja bi ni suban na all the nezina ka there I mean na wo na Patrick aiti samenye Patrick inye free ya na wo kwamena ye menya nkwa o chede a kwamena so enye Patrick inye den inyi ye free imra no so na wiase wantena ne dam ehu enti kiseja be na rankasa ordinary rankasa no office na otena don ozaba into disrepute we guru ho anyima ase no ya me dede sisiara wo nyina watu wa ho ase de papa osi June muboa June obaba na embise bi a wo hwe wo be den wo be ye wo yambise se no wo famra kwando na papa no wa ye bona embra no punishment the fact that you're public holder, you and trust the taxpayers' money into your hands to spend. Into me, I won't condone crime. But young fam raquado.
All right.
Sapapan, why bona, young fam raquado. Aha. A champion in the apada when the kunubu misako. Never said the name at no needs an empire. Court of competent irrigation. What pass verdict on her. In for let time to do that in catch papa number. No be an answer in the moon. Pick and choose. Because a penny papa or mama in the end this when you net well this special was good to be my boo. I have come in.
And now the favor.
Not more time. I can impugn that because.
But in Sunday, you man or yana.
Neduma no ye. In that tone, kwa na china afa propaganda. Often this fool suban. Nada do ne all sweat in one can't check them no catch it. Also fun quite a year baby as it. Nanukwa no the ye. Nukwa no the ye. I was expecting Kiseja being there. Enka Mahama Yaga Ojida Parliament no patch on in Korean on the sober reflection. Na kasa wa ba no wa ba pacho but papa na ehu abro started already a press conference and I'm papa yonya buta epia fankofo office na won kasa mo because penyin dua maate mante penyin odua eye de wan kasa ahwa wa no akapa na wa kasa wa no kapa wa no baba ba pacho amo onye nti no here kasa okasa fa ne cha medon na wo yemranyi na mameke ya America do started or kasa na minye problem o hwin de o were ya lawyer na den sam court na court no ka cho de am from required na be no obogua na ba ye press conference de ma ya ankonam hona na mu de papa ansha da chi mori yen ansha onwe ni yi nsunsu adu yi
Patrick akwabe da say Patrick boy for the former finance minister I say I shocked is puzzled and then
why I shocked
with some of the information the special prosecutor be able to then I know stage or nanifi and that sort the communication between Ono and the special prosecutor coming out later on to declare him fugitive and then wanted. He's shocked.
I'm man can't away afraid of that. Support the abuse of Obiano rights, even when Hippochrono or an investigation and now there are some allegations of corruption. When support the abuse in rights, because you will be brave. Yamoto to NDC for Wabra Yefia Benum. Intano in Chada Bana Assassin or there the same thing against young political opponents. I don't subscribe to that. I know necessarily the majority leader in his wisdom on pede NDC and mistakes and people for year or poor Mr. Oforiata Ichawo there. A kwana wafad were invading the house, you know, one fakwan papado. And
that invasion was that needful?
That's why I up. But the question is, OA speaker there on someone call for the one call for Oforiata, was he right or wrong? Because on go for Okro, Mr. Oforiata Nifi won't fee office of the OSP.
But this brings a lot of questions. Before then, nobody accused OSP that was maybe the one.
That is the point. Into the make sure there, OSP or son it's no. Ebia baby makade okro too far nye do bakade Oforiata stage na arrest. But it was true. Onyana no smile. Later you hune there or your Japan onyene or you find the national security for led by Mr. Japan. No,
but assembly ni muhia. I mean, even as not about prompt to that you come out and then defend what you have no idea of.
Master American you there.
I don't know if you American
matter. Yes. The invasion of a house in a year can.
Yes.
That is I know na kwana offer the way invading a house no. Always speak the minimum washi. But I agree to what point Eric you there. Say you state there nyame but to go to that extent to say there no organization, that's why I also have a problem with it. So based on that, into a majority leader opacho. But in any case, your conversation occurred between Mr. Oforiata no new OSP. Uncle Amina. If you are maba in Samana, what's on Bembe Yanodo, the gravity of the issue I can wasam. But so be to insafro there. Inyaman kukru bi amkoye wo time into brana be yano na ka kire ne de meresa mo yereba na minyim da maba. That was the content of his first letter. Ankwamna wana ba jida mazi atu, meaning that say 20 years kwa na wo ho boto wa baba yentina wa yentwa no for 20 years. That was the implication of the first letter. And one always speak that be ye na demo rin ye. So at every point in time no behind the scenes, Wanyene Kase gave him an opportunity to present himself. It is a failure. The next option was to declare you fugitive OSP or ye. What declared you fugitive? Inyano no responded and now Obaba Junior. Inti so you know Obaba Juna. What has prompted the first letter no record minim time Mazababa Ghana had it. It clearly tells you there Ebia no pe kwani bido. Na ozeno hu ozekoko suma en ro wa Ghana had ware mo kwan men ye da mazin men ka ankwamna abaze no ma woto nsaze frɛ Mr. Oforiata if you are bringing saka topics no me je enyim hwehwɛ some of these issues no nkoko. I was even surprised the one for National Cathedral Panka no
National Cathedral is part.
Oh okay, not there
or part of the scandals are
okay. I found another one. No, not SML. There was another scandal. I think that I was expecting that was back on. Your was easy, you know, on account. The first one here, BSC. Between BSC and ECG, also BSC, also find PDS and ECG. Not soon BSC and ECG.
Okay.
BXC and ECG. BXC no ECG one asam no nyedan. Anko am no 8888 ya. Or Chinese company wanye Ghana ye juma mperebebre from 2008 to 2012. In fact, about the thermal plants they were part very played key part. Yan new metering system na azinyina they played key part. Na time MPP na adwene the Wharton ECG no. Dam company ye bribi offer a bidding. That one so pedo to be. Apart from that no, then they have already spent close to about $2 million in preparing their bid. Under strange circumstance, Mr. Oforiata no nyino dom, wucha woyi dam nko free film. Na nkofo no wana asama wakanye there. Based on strange circumstances where you one was the film ninti, they suffered some losses or other Ghana ban otumotia. So they are in court seeking for judgment debt against Ghana. Anana OSP there. One task the company when you Ghana ye juma will show one ability to do that. Ni nyina mu no botu wa for kwani bi do no way you want film. Now work for PDS.
But maybe I want to understand this.
Yeah.
Now if the there is a contract now open tender. Obia won kwando you bidding.
Yeah.
Now I am bidding na per ebia the bidding process in what you fima does the nation suffer or your judgment debt?
That's what America there a corner over for days you wave female. That raises a question.
And the the circumstances a corner offer that were free there. And
remember. You have the time.
Now concluding
I would have wished there in Kayan called the merits.
No, nobody is discussing the merit of the issue. What we are doing in the Nyama was a court in the Erika.
Okay.
That is why Menka there, whether they are right or wrong. There are reasons for going to court in American Wasam. It's up to the court to decide whether Asama was a ban, there is substance in it. Okay. But out of that na yes suffer that $190 million and the Millennium Development Challenge that was so setting aside a friend and BX no our for PDS bear no one soon don't be on losing that grant na yenya wo mid one. Apart from that, yaka National Cathedral Hwasam. Yaka Hwasam bebre. Initially Aban will not fund it. Yabama assassin quoting no they have spent $53 million. Ankwamena so be to spend the misike on such a project. Onyu kwando edo no be yana. That's the question I don't see yano. The third one I'm pede yaka Hwasam or can charges ho. I don't know ya who when you look at the figures friend and Auditor General was about out now. It looks so bad and scary. Ebeke the MPP aban kafa one constituency, one ambulance bay. And President Kufado Nyanse Munu, he was able to buy about 307 ambulances. Constituency biya nyaneze nada a friend and hospitals so when ye be. Ankwamena say out to them ambulances in wi. Na ye per spare parts za ye ho adwuma. Spare parts na yezere ba shishambo ye nto ambulance fufuru. Spare parts na yezere ba shisha ambulance ni mu no rather cost as $34.9 million. Spare parts no nkoten. Spare parts ye nto ambulance fufuru. Spare parts na yezere ba shisha se ambulance ni baby to chima. That is how much we spent. $34.9 million. Na mo ya reho wonye de company ye only need them bid ya onya da mo contract. What's on just a year after President Akufo-Addo or commission them one district one ambulance. Meaning that obiniti mpomuno what to company other chan. President Akufo-Addo no one district one ambulance. And extra amount spent amount spent on each ambulance in terms of spare parts or $113,695 spare part on one ambulance. More ya rehonye there. Them 34 million ye triam will be for spare parts nkwiti. Yes, the atofos in Kejina court for $2 million there where issue letters of credit. Letters of credit much yenya the conversation. Ose say you no deliver ambulance na banki one share na one trade the misike one farman. Ano yehunu yezini Kejina court. But somebody was bold enough to make a payment of $34.9 million. And then a time what you $34 million here. 5 days so be for office. Just 5 days before leaving office. No three them $34.9 million.
As finance minister.
As finance minister. And see, Ankwamena, soon sikasamu. And for somebody to be making this payment under dubious circumstances, oh, yedo be inviting no me inana. So what is this issue of MPP? Rich hunting and nyimpani nyimdo here. Now what it's hey, Ankwamena, in the Yoruba be excuse. Yen referee, Jachu Kwesin me yaze yen referee Victor Salome me yaze yen referee Kwame Pepra me yaze yen referee Chachuchi Kata me yaze yen.
Meji that justice in Nimi Yoruba na day.
That is the point. Into muni ane MPP for was there or year na Yoruba wo ifan nan nyimpani yer kasa no Yoruba na want ase. Mr. Masem reason okay. The court has passed its verdict.
30 seconds.
It is up to the security services. Na ekwani bi oba for that was a Tama pro baba phone was it before. E offer and then OSP home. E offer OSP home.
Patrick Yabua, if I better say, God bless Patrick Yabua. You are too good to my liking. Wow, keep it on. Fantastic submission from Alberto. Alberto Suniza Ozzy Abayin. Massa, why is the MPP man speak as if he wants the downfall of this government? They are just 3 months in power, so why the pressure? No amount of lies will bring you people back to power from abattoir. Abra. Okay. Abattoir, Abra. All right. Ebusa mobile phone lines now to me now so abamisi 0244 408 046 0244 408 354. Yabaka no message ewo Facebook and afi YouTube and so yes I'm about 30 seconds still and a year for na for before friends. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Kwame.
Yes sir.
So that the question is Savoy.
Question I mean too.
Monia. I am your day, you and maybe be at now what don't want Kasa. No better, you better know Kasa now, you know, so one all Kasa all Kasa. After 2016, you be a man review Jawano. And you get a 5 cities to be a king for you.
5 cities and you for you.
I think for you never know. I see.
Bread.
I don't know 2016, and it's a 4 3 for 1 city. It's a 4 3 for 1 city. And the same 24 3. Later, after you go to Sirisa, the man is some who self 50 passwords. How can you see that? Come and look at your way. I don't know how about and just what's an old soul. It's just still there as you could trouble in India. Then again, China, be there. That's a pensioner had catching with you one. What the pensioner first come on? The man call you a corridor. Let's walk around to roll out member papa. As I don't mind my old baby. The book of man kind of fool. If you hadn't said with your full was so. In the mouth, we'll move 2028 in the 1 point campaign because I remember you, Bulu. I had to be a gun and without a gunner. But I say.
Basso, but I say 0244 408 046. See, the MPP did not remove 17 taxes. They only removed 1 tax on 17 items. You two stop their lies. Good afternoon, Mr. Host. If landlords, okay, I'm in favor. Good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon, sir.
Hey, Jado.
I'm coming now. Hey, Jado, you have that man. I'm coming now.
Hey, Jado.
My brother, Penny, question answer. Man, a change. Now, man. It's a Kitawa, Echo, what on the 2,000? Echo 2,000. Oh, yeah, a hinipo. Oh, and they are hinipo.
20 pesos, sir.
Employing your 20 pesos in there. It's a Kitawa, that's where that's her. Oh, yes, 6,000. What is 6 pesos? After 1 month, 3,000. What is 30 pesos? Now, why that way, 1,000. What is 10 pesos? And you know what I got in the 1 year, in the 1 year, wisdom also. And that people so they got them, and that's all at the 50,000. What is
at 50,000?
5 cities. 5 cities. 5 cities in Kano, 50,000. And that 5 cities. That's a
Hey, I don't mean I say. All right. Good afternoon. Hello. Yes, sir. Yeah, me I do want to say. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Let us say, Efo. Pastor, let us say, good evening.
Good evening, yes, man.
Yes, sir.
Salamu
alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Yes, man.
Okay, Akubu.
I'm going to kasa. Na mawomi de. Yeni anum MPP for whereas too much. Wale pere ho dodo. Ebe. It's a member for 8 years. It is just 2 months. Na no hasem. The mom friend excellency Mahama. Yeni na you want to move because of promising man kanu. Ghana for you to ambaman or promising. And you may have a commander sugar factory obey Juma. My yes, a quander galamsino or better than Sudan Watson by Union Superpayanum. Only a year access for the next election. Because Menjin this day, ex-president, Excellency John Mahama, or but nowadays, or be fail 4 years. No work fail a lose election 2028. Menjin the day, Mama by the major man. And to your money time, or your division, or was also to not the Ganish or yes. One can say people raise the moment, my yes, I can. So that you pay a wab by man or by any budget, Abacasa baby. And young MPP, we don't go to Ghana for. Yes, you know, yes, Mamma need more by a man Ghana, and a legacy or Bejato or Amma that to be a can awesome. That's the mission.
I mean, sure, was baby. Good evening, Chairman.
Kastle FM 90.3 heavy.
$50, sir. But said the time sooner, yes, to the economy, no, my agent, and okay. All right. Chama, may I say, all right, may I say, baby, once we input that, but good evening.
Good evening, Kwamna.
I'm a baby, no.
Brother.
Hey, na lent mu na won dey sui.
Brother, you know.
Empire one kweti ana.
Oh,
kwese.
Mimi ndena. Yesi.
Kose.
Mala. Mija mana. Moro kwa.
Okay. Me too.
What station? Omo.
Omba. What baby I wanna?
Inyo.
UCC one.
Inyo.
Okay.
And see, my loud and black.
Marty.
Kwamene. Share. Ye gomufo. Inti se. Obo read the budget. Nye wo. Eno wo papa. Wo betete. Numu igomfi abrof na apparatus. Ama won so wetum na wada ka wonye mebu na otum na wo dey read one budget. Na wo be me say MPP for day. Empana yin na wo batena do yfi awochi. Wo ba go. No we be sa. Nye no gomfo day. Nye ro kwade. Amambu. Onye won MPP for na ye do won si Ghana for day. Wan ka so won kwo wan wo onu. Nye no gomfo na ye yin olu bumanan. E so bibi nkoye. All the son from no by you go move no one year by negotiations, no woman, a man all call, but MPP for one yen. On me, a yintra one from a yimpensi, and all block to them. And what? Better, that much I just still has some young money and no from a water king, another money and impet water king. Chef, what man am to be? Chef, what neck was 7 tapestries. No, to be 2016. So I check the partners in Yimpan, said with the fetcher, Okata 1 city, it woman 2. As the man, why is the 40% no? Eman 2. No worry. That is a quabra goma. 1 more 3. 1 city. Ma, then you don't hustle. Because let's check for 1 crate. And only 10 city. Okay. And only 10 city. Because in the banner, what the man would feed on Kokwan. And very cheap. Into so one woman. No one can say at the one who own a banana memory bunwakwe. A banana memory bunwakwe. Shall spread part of some year king. Montaka. No more cement to the mark to be there. I'm looking at contractor. It's I can contest there. That must cement to some year and one come ask me. Cement you poor. And no one is stay. And what? Next week, you know, no one can come summer, no one to one young pure to the man. I will be a no. May I say, may I say, Master, one go on tomorrow. The young may I say, recover. Can you take it for yes and one? Dama, why? May I say, good evening.
Good evening, Uncle.
Yes, sir.
I'm not telling you, Putin.
Cover me too.
You, I'm dancing. My chair, my brother in this in our studios. Sure. I'm coming in come with you. My mayor and Samania with them. And there may be a meal.
Okay.
I'm a former financial minister or Ghana.
Oh, Ghana, pa.
Unfortunately, for no occasion, I show.
Okay, Bridget.
Oh, I'm coming now. This is a finance minister. Not Ghana. And when you were hospital, Saka, Siwa Ghana. Na to catch and a Kaji Iron share a war kind and average that never can the Ghana for no reason.
But I say, I aware there are cases in us no way in Ghana, Anna.
I'm coming no one in Ghana.
On your cases in your way in Ghana.
And some coming near about your more than
near about urban health issue, dear brother. Honestly,
I'm coming. And she said, painful, what's the damness of woods in that? Then, health facilities, and one hospitals now, don't win my own farmer Ghana.
Okay.
And I mean, you been. Sami say, ni health way or no, or they to connect Sami, so when they be to see Sami, that. But I'm American at Assay.
My to say,
a hand, it's a pain for way at the man, intimate for you wait, chira, and then maybe I hear you. About the launch what kind of say you can national cathedral was man. I'm coming you scared that walk or war. And to say, if it's a benum, let's say, Cincinnati, a Kastle 90.3. And you say you can you quit, I
Cincinnati or your Oh yeah, no going. Mammy make them statement. Now, yeah.
I'm not saying. It's a make a choice. It's a make a choice. When you're the blow,
okay.
Because if it's happened, managed to say, yeah, you're done. You may come a Ghana for a Cape Coast or Biority mat. What's there? Obianya, a comment to him.
Okay.
I don't know why.
First of all, yes.
And that one coming for Ghana, you be an one.
But I say, last caller, good evening. Last caller, good evening. All right, when Tumna, when you know, Mamma, last caller, Hannah, FNC. Last caller, good evening.
Mopoto, I'm coming. That's here, pa.
Ejado Pocho Abado, Medasimo, be some bread to be. Good evening, last caller.
Good evening.
Yes, sir.
I'm coming up for me.
Yamiadumo now, swear.
Okay, I'm coming to say this assembly. Budget is so very there, but your committee no what how many days and sana we read the budget.
On the mean 2 minutes determined because our budget preparation is
but I want to find the committee no what how previous days and sana why budget no.
Yes.
Now when that ben so na first finance minister Oko market.
Oko 3 days.
Budget now we can read no na for just ikeke.
Okay.
So be all so Ghana kind of what say. That's it.
But I see. All right. And we say to before for Fubiabio FNC. I see. Good afternoon, Mr. Rose. If landlords are going to pay taxes, what is going to happen to tenants according to tomorrow's budget? Hey, Mr. Rose, ask NDC man that what the difference between the construction of National Cathedral and the construction of Hajj Village in Ghana. Kofi Ishan. All right, Kofi Ishan. But I say message. Okay. Ankara too. But how can 6 billion under Mahama be a useful expenditure whilst Nanado 2.07 billion is wasteful? But Nanado reduced it from 6 billion to 2.7 billion. So how can the NDC rep say it's wasteful? Okay. The NDC started with the excuse that Mahama is new in government and he has not presented his budget. The reality is catching up with them, and they should continue with such excuses. And by the time they will realize we will be going for the election, the tomorrow's budget reduce price of kinky, cement, food stuffs, petrol price, house rent, and the rest. The NDC rep should tell us. All right. Ankato Bedasi. Good evening. I'm Rich K from Abra Cape Coast. I remember when NPP government was about passing the e-levy, we had some MPs that was sick, but they were sent to Parliament to vote on passing the e-levy. Now, NPP as a body should fly Ken to Ghana by all means, as they did for questioning, because we are not happy with him. Case closed. It is he. Hey, Patrick. Yes, a minute, pay.
Just a minute. I'm going to say Fubi Bisa, some of my unit away for. And I've seen this attempt to compare National Cathedral to Hajj Village.
But I mean, the National Cathedral, the previous administration started the National Cathedral, Hajj Village.
And into now, one there, yes. All of a sudden, MP Fumpo was a Hajj Village in order to National Cathedral.
But why would Mahama also go there and cut another sword? For the project, it is ongoing. Why another sword cutting?
From the little information yes, there will be modifications to my what shots and another wakato sword for it. Don't forget that the wakato sword keke wanshe bibi aso wakato echo site was here. There's nothing.
But
there.
We raise the place.
Oh, I'm going
pillars has been raised.
So the issue is that onya asoridan. There will be malls or there will be waiting rooms for commercial purposes. And the now wakawa so we say that man kramofo sebi. It's not just a place for Muslims. Yes, the purpose for it you no walk or make or baby at now or very comfortable. But on any day, no, anybody that want to use that facility will pay for it. Into be back there or a self-financing project. Unlike a national cathedral, Yes, spending $53 million. You who be and since new dominion. Uncle, I'm now China me adoma. Dama NDC Shagana for bon. Yen shame you me there. Yan washa yesha Ghana for no. You bohun wa budgeti yumu. Misery we no. We should applaud NDC and a finance minister. Okay. Again, for at least engaging Ghana for. On today, in Bribi or Wabasino kwa yenya a great minister. Okay, chahen there. What on a brozu do 5 cities because nara one kogo one you go miss what you are for her.
All right, yeah, Patrick.
My short time as a man.
Just a minute and I'm the man in tea.
My short time as one.
Don't bring that.
Who did the Biam Academy new issue? Patrick, my attacker. Patrick Kasana Macade, Oko merit, Oko Assembly Osbochu. It's in all catch order or a dubious contract. Already passing judgment. It's a free thing.
Which one? On
the ambulance issue.
Yes.
But you didn't ask him.
That is the spare part, you know.
Yes, you didn't ask him of the source. Amy may come road is seven. Oh, Patrick. Biop. Patrick, remember, Biop, Kwamina. Obini in Zamaba say more. You saw nothing wrong with it. But somebody asked you that ben 24 hours and what by your monk of you ended the call of that person.
And Obian Bisam.
It you remember somebody said it in their curtain. Not today. I'm not talking about today. I come in. See, no, my attacking. Bio, come in, John Meba. Bio, people, come in, say. In there, under the administration of Mahama, in fact, ministers be one want to do 1 hour or quabruchi. In fact, the now do not be him. We had NDC appointees Naza, no, they will fly home emergency for treatment. Mobwana on Yanokwa.
Okay.
On my pain, Mahama. In there, wana in Zama Okane with the Oko.
But calling me yina no there.
Yina no.
Oh.
There was
Patrick. Ebia. Mpachameba yedesi. But ebia communication and follow. Me yina no there cases bi wa ha Ghana ha won treat them cases no ha. Won ko abrochi enti ekede me yina na me.
Me Patrick. Next time Patrick interjecting Apple show no ya wa woze Emma Mankasa wo do wa woze awofa
and that's about time if you there koruku echi ya puri mo me ebe shall see that Christ has some income echi record we say they see Amanda production team I say headed by Mr. Bernard Ogo, Osman FKK and Afi Blackus train to Facebook and YouTube. My yazi conversation yes bro. As the be soon come Patrick Yeboah Hayford or Kasazima NDC and Patrick Aqua Kasadema NPP. My Royal Hotel bet way bet saver. Wonyi Injimukua Osay and Asin and the Emma the conversation yes bro. I was so afraid I went to Manfrano yade Yamin Shobebre. Yade see Yami Adumochna Ebesene Shebio. Have a wonderful good evening. Bye bye.